Late Night Health continues. I'm Mark Allen, along with the insane Daryl Wayne. Be sure to join us at latenighthealth.com. That's latenighthealth.com. Our guest is Rich Sagall. He is a medical doctor, and he is the president and co-founder of NeedyMeds. Rich, welcome back to Late Night Health.
Good to talk to you again, Mark.
And I was thinking about you the other night, and because I watched an ad for a pharmaceutical. I told you this earlier today, but I want to bring it out. I believe it was a drug for multiple sclerosis, and the price was $65,000. And I don't remember if that was a month or a year. Either way, it's an exorbitant amount. And looking at my personal insurance, I think it brought it down to around $14,000 or $15,000, again, a month or a year. Drugs are expensive. How can people afford that?
They can't. It's a problem. Many people can't afford it. And they go without and they die or suffer problems.
Wow. Well, that's very pragmatic of you. And that's it. The drug companies, I should say that NeedyMeds does provide a service helping people to save up to 80% off the cost of a prescription. And do you ever get...
That's with our drug discount card.
Right. And we're going to tell people how to get their NeedyMed cards. I've actually used my card not only, and I have insurance, but just a price check. Is that something that people should do?
Oh, definitely. Sometimes the card gives a cheaper price than your insurance copayment would be.
Which upsets me to no end. I'm paying all this money out every month for insurance where I think I'm going to get the best deal around. And yet a free card can get me a substantial discount. Why? That's
true. It doesn't make sense, Mark. You're totally right. I tell people semi-jokingly, NeedyMeds should go. Our goal is to have NeedyMeds go out of business for lack of need. People should be able to get health care they need at a reasonable price. And our system is not set up to do that.
And what do you think about a drug that costs $65,000? I mean, I'm not even talking about the efficacy of it. I'm just talking about the price.
I think it's crazy that a drug costs that much. See, what the insurance companies will say is that we give it away free to people who can't afford it, and insurance companies can afford to pay for it. And I'll bet with drugs like that, there are very few cash-paying patients because they just can't afford to.
Well, even somebody who's a multimillionaire, they would go through their money quickly with a price like that.
Oh, yes. That's very true. And the other thing to look at with some of these drugs is whether they really make much of a difference. Some of these expensive drugs, cancer drugs, may be extending the life on average a few months.
And we're all about the quality of life, are we not?
That's very true. And it's a real dilemma as to how this is going to be resolved because people just, and the society can't afford such high prices.
And I understand that research and development for drugs costs a lot of money. I get that. But at the same time, shouldn't that cost come down? Can't it come down?
You're asking questions that I have no answers to, and people a lot smarter than I have no answers to.
But you have thoughts about it. I know you, Rich.
Well, I do have thoughts about it, and that's why we have NeedyMeds, because we're trying to help people find the assistance that is out there to help them be able to afford the health care and medications that they need. That's why we get 10 to 15,000 people coming to the website most days.
Wow. At the same time, how do I know that my drug discount card is going to work? I mean, NeedyMeds, and that's needymeds.org, if I remember correctly, is how to find you. So it's needymeds.org. Go online. You can get a free card, and I'm telling you, it works. Fortunately, I don't have a lot of prescriptions, but every now and then I will take something, and NeedyMeds can often save me money. And of course, when that happens, I call my provider and I yell at them because I don't think it's right. They don't like my phone calls,
well,
Rich.
It's not, and you're right that everyone should check it out. Just looking at certain drugs, just doing some pricing yesterday, I found that at many pharmacies it was around $90. At other pharmacies it was $150. One mail order house was $50. Same drug.
Daryl had a drug that he was taking. You want to talk about that, Daryl? Just the pricing.
Well, I had gone to, I think I was with Kaiser at the time for like 15 minutes. And I had gone to the Kaiser pharmacy to fill the prescription, and they said it was going to be $1,600. I went to CVS and it was $600. I ended up getting it at Walmart for $40.
All the same, all the same drug.
Identical drug.
All the same drug.
Yeah, I think that's a crime. I think that the insurance companies and the pharmaceutical companies should be held accountable. They seem to be in cahoots together.
Well, the thing that amazes me is that there are some people that will just take the first answer as granted and just pay it, right? Oh, if that's how much it is, that's what it is. And they don't know that there are other processes that you can go through, like NeedyMeds, to get the price down, which is absolutely required. I mean, we don't fill a prescription anymore unless we check first.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
That's what people have to do, Daryl. You're doing just the right thing, because the prices vary so much and there's no rhyme or reason. And the other thing is, no one source of medication is always the cheapest. So you may find one drug is cheaper at Rite Aid, another is cheaper at Walmart, another is cheaper at Walgreens. And it can become, if you're doing a number of medications, it become a full-time job.
Well, the other thing that is worth checking into is because of the dosage or the amount of milligrams, right? We've got one that is 6 milligrams and it's like $100, but you can buy twice as many at 3 for $4.
Yeah. Oh, that makes no sense either, does
Where
it?
you need to go back to the physician and say, okay, you prescribed this at 6 milligrams, but can you get me twice as much at 3 because it's a tenth of the price?
Well, NeedyMeds
is your own advocate.
Yeah, you have to be your own advocate, and at the same time, NeedyMeds offers assistance in this as well, don't you?
Well, in terms of the pricing with our drug card, we have a price calculator where you can put in, if you need 30 pills at 1 milligram, you could put in that, and then put in 60 milligrams at half a milligram. At half a milligram, and see which price is cheaper overall. The other thing to keep in mind is sometimes over-the-counter drugs are cheaper if you get a prescription.
That's interesting. I had a thing where I hurt my leg. I hurt my knee, and the doctor prescribed something. I went in, and it was like $85, and the pharmacist came out from behind the counter, walked me over, and said the same thing. It was $8, and the bad news is it didn't work. It didn't relieve the pain.
It goes the other way.
Right. Listen, Rich, we'll have to do this again. We're out of time. I really appreciate your jumping in for us. NeedyMeds.org. We'll have Rich's story up on our website, as well as a link to NeedyMeds. I'm Mark Allen, along with the insane Daryl Wayne. Robert Clancy's up next. Role models. They can make all the difference. In our world today, they have never been more important. One of the nation's most successful mentoring organizations is Jewish Big Brothers Big Sisters of Los Angeles. Their mission is to assist youth in achieving their full potential through innovative and impactful programs. And no nonprofit agency does it better. Jewish Big Brothers Big Sisters of LA serves Jewish children, boys and girls in our local community with a mentoring program that's been going strong since 1915. That's only the beginning. This nationally known agency owns and operates Camp Bob Waldorf. Its summer camping and weekend retreat programs enrich the lives of youth throughout greater Los Angeles. Then there's a college support program, and last but not least, work that helps kids all over the world through the Teen Talk app. Want to learn more? Go to jbbbsla.org. Donate. Get involved. There's no better way to make a difference.
If you're listening to Late Night Health right now, you're part of the growing target of baby boomers we're serving. Hi, I'm Daryl Wayne, producer of Late Night Health, inviting you to join the Late Night Health family. If you have any business targeting the growing boomer market, Late Night Health is the ideal advertising vehicle for you. From vitamins to insurance, alternative health to Western-style medicine, Late Night Health caters to the growing population of those over 40 years old. This vibrant demographic has expendable income to fight aging, purchase travel, take care of aging parents, or just have fun. Find out about the advertising opportunities with Late Night Health. Call us at 805-391-0308. That's 805-391-0308, or email us at info@latenighthealth.com. That's info@latenighthealth.com. Join Late Night Health as we empower people to take charge of their own health care. Call now at 805-391-0308. That's 805-391-0308.
Recently, I met Jacqueline from Bright here in Los Angeles. She gave me a hearing exam and then showed me how to hear again with the new Signia Pure Series hearing aids, and she can give you your life back too. I hear birds chirping, birds cooing, and even my wife. They easily connect to my smartphone. The Signia hearing aids are amazing, and with the charge and go, I don't have to fiddle with batteries and hear all day long. Not hearing is frustrating for you and your family. I know you don't have a problem, but trust me, call Bright Here now for a free hearing exam, a $125 value, yours free, just for making an appointment now. There are offices throughout the Los Angeles area. Call Bright Here now at 323-424-7100. That's 323-424-7100 for a free hearing exam. There's no obligation. Call now, 323-424-7100, or visit them on the web at brighthere.com.
Welcome to Guide to the Soul. This is Robert Clancy. Opening your heart is the only way to allow all the light in. Unconditional love does exist, but it takes trust, something not a lot of people are willing to give. But how can you expect it if you don't provide it too? All hearts are refillable, rechargeable, and renewable. So why worry about being burned? By giving, you have everything to gain. Think of how beautiful your life would be if someone loved you without barriers, gave all of their heart to you without conditions, and wrapped their soul around you like it was your last day on earth. Today, you can be that person for someone else.
For more inspiration from Robert Clancy, visit guidetothesoul.com or go to the Moments with Robert page on latenighthealth.com.
Sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Words are a critical aspect of success. How you get your point across is a crucial part of what makes anything sell. So do it right and hire a writer. Whether it's articles, blog posts, technical writings, website content, product descriptions, or ghostwriting anything from a novel to a nonfiction book about your navel, contact Servet Hassan. If you want it to sell, write it right. Email Servet at servet@servethassan.com.
Late Night Health continues. I'm Mark Allen. Along with the insane Daryl Wayne, we're going to be joined by a regular contributor, Robert Clancy. And from time to time, Robert comes up with a topic that I don't understand. So he's going to have to explain this one to me. Robert works as in addition to all the spirituality that he teaches and writes about and talks about, He works in with computers and digital stuff far beyond my comprehension. And the topic today is no views. Robert, what are no views?
Well, my inspirational thought first is the best views are to be had when you rise above all else. And sometimes those views aren't what you think, when you get to the top of a mountain. And I'd done a hike, did 11 miles, 4,000 feet of elevation in the Adirondacks to two peaks. My son is he's going to try to summit every peak in the New York Adirondack Mountains. And I went on two of them with him and his friend. And they told me about the Y in the road. There's going to be a fork in the road that splits one way and the other way. And one peak is this way, and then you got to come back down and go to the other one. Well, both peaks had no views. There was just a little sign thing that you got here, and there were still trees around, and you couldn't see, the beautiful, rolling hills and mountains in the background. It was just a peak, and so I thought, what, we did rise above it all, and it was a lot of climbing. It's like climbing staircases for 4 or 5 hours. You're out there pulling yourself through. It was a lot of vegetation, so it was dark in there, and really didn't get the reward at the end. But the reward was that we had that time together. So rising above everything and having that time was really our view. So that's the point. Sometimes there are no views that you think there are. You need to look for them.
So you may not see it. You have to feel it. You have to think about it.
Yeah, it's pulling yourself above, like rising above it, and you become the view. And so we all sat up there and had a great talk. We couldn't stay, as you know, in the peaks and valleys of life, just like the peaks and valleys of a mountain. You can't stay up there that long. We had to, climb back down because we're late in the afternoon. It could be dark by the time we're getting back if we didn't start to move. So we sat for a few minutes, talked, and we moved on to the other peak. Same thing, no views, but we hung out there for a few minutes, and then we just powered our way down the mountain.
How long did it take to get down the mountain as compared to going up the mountain?
It was about an hour less. So, you're moving pretty fast, but at this point your legs are kind of jello-y, so, you got to watch out you don't bump your head on a tree branch, which I did, and, a couple of us had wobbly legs a few times, but we got down there, but it was really moving fast, trying to get across and then pay attention to it because this particular trail wasn't marked, didn't have the blazes on it, so it was like a bushwhack trail a little bit, and it was easy to get off track. And when we got to the stream, we couldn't find the other half of the trail, so we had to backtrack a little bit and figure it out.
Well, and we do that in life. Maybe we have a job that we really want, we get it, and it turns out that we have to backtrack. There's no views because you haven't really seen the job yet, and you have to find another job, even though you've been looking. Would that be part of what you're talking about?
Yeah, sometimes you do have to backtrack, and sometimes you got to push forward. If you're on the right path, you power through. If you second guess it and you say, you know what, I don't think I'm on the right path, backtrack and take the other one. There's always forks in the road. There's always forks in your roadway of life, and looking at those things, if that's not the right job or that's not the right path for you, then you may want to alter your trajectory, and then you'll get to where you need to be. But it's always looking ahead. What's your point on the horizon, and then lining up to that. And even though you may not get to that point, you're heading in the right direction.
Yeah, they say that in a relationship between people, it's not finalizing that relationship that's so important. What's important is that the journey on the relationship, that's what's important. The hunting, if you will.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it's that relationship between those two hearts and what you share in common, but also what you bring to the table that's different. And that's what makes life interesting is finding those, not necessarily all the things they have in common, but the things that you can challenge each other on too.
Interesting. Oh, that's an interesting thing. So the the give and take about what each person in that relationship wants.
Yeah.
You know, the journey.
Right.
And it had occurred to me, in a relationship, there are peaks where you have a great view and maybe valleys where the view is not so nice.
Correct.
Right? Goes up and down.
And as you know, the heaven is above both of those. You know, it's going to be above the valleys. It's going to be above the mountains. And we've talked about this before. You know, when you're in the valley, the mountain looks beautiful in the background, and when you're in the mountaintop, the valley looks beautiful in the background. So enjoy both of those places and the journey through both.
And the journey through a relationship would be a good analogy.
Right.
Right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's that give and take thing. And like I said, sometimes there's no views, but you create them. So the views within your relationship, sometimes you might not see them, but you're still enjoying, you know, what you had. And we had, you know, quite a journey climbing up to these peaks, and it was a lot of work. You know, my hat there was sweat dripping off the front of the brim of the hat. You know, that's how, you know, strenuous this was. It was pretty vertical that we were heading up there and moving at a really good pace. But I did keep up with the jackrabbit, but, you know, he stopped and I said, when you're my age and, you know, we'll see how you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he's an Eagle Scout, your son. So
yeah, he's an Eagle Scout. But what happened was they were about maybe 20 feet, 25 feet, maybe 30 feet in front of me. They'd stop and rest, and I'm catching up those 20, 30 feet. And when I get there, they start moving again. So I'm the one not getting the rest. They are.
Aha. All right, we're going to have to call him and tell him to slow down a bit when he's with Pop.
Yeah.
You know? Right. Well, views of life, no views of life. I think that goes back to the couch potato who's sitting and waiting, not really knowing what they're waiting for, not having a view of what they want. And having that view, understanding what you're looking for is important to achieve what you want.
Yeah, and I think the key point of this whole discussion is that sometimes when you don't have views, you need to create your own.
How do you do that? In 30 seconds or less.
Visualize in front of you. Just visualize it out. You've got to, like I said, in that point in the horizon, once you see where you're going, it all falls into place. So you've got to create with your imagination what that is. And in those moments when you have it and there seems to be no view, you can create your own.
Got it. Well, I think we are just about out of time, are we not, Daryl? We are out of time.
One thin minute.
And Robert, thank you for joining us again. We appreciate it. Robert joins us every other week now here on Late Night Health. You can find out more about Robert by visiting his website, guidetothesoul.com. You can also visit us at latenighthealth.com. That's latenighthealth.com. Much more coming up in the next few weeks here at Late Night. Be sure to tune in wherever you can. Either it's on podclips.io, iTunes, or many other places that feature Late Night Health. I'm Mark Allen, along with the insane Daryl Wayne. Thank you very much for tuning in. Have a good week, everybody. Have a great week. Most importantly, stay healthy. Have a healthy week. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye for now.